Erin Harrison coming to you from the Santa Clara Convention Center at Cloud Expo. And I'm joined today by John Michelsen, founder and chief geek of iTKO. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So who is iTKO?
We're a software company. We were founded in '99. Our goal is to take the software development process and make it faster, easier, cheaper, higher quality, and to deal with the issues that are very common in today's enterprise applications, like increased complexity, cycle times with a lot of pressure to reduce. There's a lot going on in software development. The cloud is just one such thing. We've got a lot to do in terms of development process and technology to support those processes. That's what we were founded to do.
Okay, that was going to be my next question, but actually first I want to get back to your title, Chief Geek. Tell us about that.
Sure. So it fits. What can I say? I have a number of titles. Being the founder, you pretty much get to decide, right? So when the question was asked, what do you want on the card? Chief Geek works. And it usually is a good icebreaker, so there you go.
All right. So what does iTKO have to do with cloud? Why are you guys here at Cloud Expo?
So we're, as I just mentioned, we're in the development and testing space. We focus exclusively on how applications are built and deployed to production within large enterprises, our typical customers. So when you think about that, cloud is a great way to is great for leverage in dev and test. What we call a dev test cloud is a wonderful thing. The good news there is what clouds do is they give you rapid provisioning. Our customers usually tell us days or weeks to get an environment stood up. And with a fully optimized cloud-based dev and test lab, you can go to do that in minutes. The same thing is true with capacity. Our customers often don't know what kind of hardware they need to provision into that environment way back at the beginning of their project. What am I going to need at the integration test time or in performance labs? And so the elasticity of capacity in the cloud is a fantastic thing to leverage in dev and test clouds. I would, by the way, mention that it's even more so than for production. Production applications have a usually predictable capacity plan. You know next week what roughly you're going to need in terms of hardware. You don't know what you need next week in your dev and test labs because the activity is so much more chaotic and so much more random than it is in production. So that's a very common problem. So dev and test cloud is all about elastic capacity, as I mentioned at the beginning, rapid provisioning of the environments. What do we do? Because so far I've sold you dev and test, and I hope I do. I hope you sell dev and test cloud. But the second piece is, what we do is we fix one of the biggest challenges in actually making all this work. And that is that the elasticity of capacity and that ability to rapidly provision all goes away as soon as any resource in the lab is off cloud. Okay. So if you can provision that web server, that app server, that database in the cloud, that's all great. But as soon as that app server has to go to a mainframe offsite or to a third-party application that's not provisioned on the cloud or any of these other things, you immediately are stuck with the same old problem and you're no better at it. So all that to say what we do is we have productized the stub and mock space. Developers out there, they'll know exactly what I mean. We've taken the behavior of those things that are off cloud and captured that into a virtual service, and we can provision that in the cloud. So you provision your app server as a virtual machine. You provision that mainframe that's off cloud as a virtual service in the cloud. That marriage makes everything on cloud, and that means it all gets the benefit.
Okay.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
Cool.
Next logical question is, who has these problems? Who most directly benefits from your solution, from your software? So
not everyone is the short answer. A lot of applications are possible to develop and test completely on cloud without the need for our technology. A typical small application that has its own local database and makes no downstream system connectivity is going to not need this kind of productized stubbing capability. The good news for us, and the reason I'm not so scared to say that, is most enterprise applications have this problem. Every insurance company, every bank, every travel company, any application that is interconnected to other applications exhibits this behavior. This very activity we're doing here is you're putting this up on a web, you've got media servers, you've got third-party search engines, you've got all this interconnectivity. The development and testing of applications with that level of heterogeneity is getting more and more difficult. provisioning labs to do that development and testing activity, having to have everything on cloud, impossible. With virtual services, not only possible, but really easy compared to the real world.
Okay, great. Well, that may be a good lead into our final question here, since we're running out of time. How does iTKO differentiate itself in such a, it's becoming a pretty densely populated market?
It is. Well, we invented this whole concept of productizing the stub and mock space, and so far we're the exclusive provider of the technology. And I'm sure, and I even hope, that the market will mature behind us, around us, and that there'll be lots of offerings in this space. We think we have a really good idea here, and we want it copied in a sense. Without infringing on patents and stuff, let's have a variety of ways this gets done. But right now, we're the only place to go. In the future, I think that cloud in general is going to go through the same maturing process that every market does, where the many virtual lab management solutions will come down to a few, the many cloud infrastructure providers will come down, and I'm sure that this space that we're in will as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, John.
Thanks.
I've been speaking with John Michelsen, founder and chief geek of iTKO. I'm Erin Harrison, coming to you from Cloud Expo in Santa Clara, California.